Hello everyone, salut tout le monde. Welcome to another video on Cameroon as we unravel and unpack what is going on in my beloved country. Whew, what a time to be alive as a Cameroonian. The temperature is on another level. Everybody's just asking themselves what is going to happen next. So today we're going to start with Mr. Biya, the ancient of days who have refused, to step down despite the people vomiting him out of office. We're going to read what he posted on Facebook yesterday. I'm going to put it up on my screen so you can see clearly what this guy is talking about. So Biya says, Cameroon cannot afford a post-election crisis with potential devastating consequences as witnessed elsewhere. Time out. Mr. Paul, what are you talking about here? You're talking about consequences. So you've put your boys in line, to kill innocent Cameroonians. Because what consequences are you talking about right now? The people said no to you. They vomited you out. They voted for Issa Tchiroma Bakary as a president. Still yet, you went ahead to cheat and you lied to the Cameroonian people. And that did not even end there. You had to take your hand and put in the Bible and say, you do so swear, putting God as a witness of your fraud and lies. Nope, God was not a witness to that. You keep deceiving yourself and you think you're deceiving the Cameroonian people. But we are not ignorant to that level. We're going to come back to Biya. I'm going to be giving you some major updates. Let's go to the next one. And the next update, okay, so I'm going to put it on my screen right now. The next update, the former presidential candidate Hiram Lyodi has released a strong and thought-provoking statement listing 10 urgent challenges he believes the disputed winner of the October 12 presidential election, Biya, must address. Hiram warned that without decisive action, a volcano of public anger could sweep away the regime. His key demands include the first one, the release of all individuals arrested during the Anglophone crisis and post-election unrest. That is a big one. All the people arrested during the Anglophone crisis, because this election or post-election drama sometimes make Cameroonians, especially French Cameroonians, to believe that, oh no, this is the only thing. They forgot, or they always forget, that Anglophones have been suffering for a long time. I'm not saying this to create division, but I'm just saying this to create awareness, especially to my brothers in the Francophone Cameroon. We are brothers, but yeah, during the time when we needed you guys most, you neglected us. But right now, we're not looking at that. We're trying to see how we can work together towards the common good of our country. But you have to remember that our people were arrested too during the Anglophone crisis. So Samuel Lyodi coming out to say this thing is a good one. And he's a Francophone brother. I appreciate that. We are all Cameroonians, but I'm just trying to emphasize on this particular point so that we all understand that we have to do something collectively. So releasing all the people arrested during the Anglophone crisis is very, very important, including Ayok Tabe. Let's go back to it. The next point, the organization of an inclusive national dialogue. Okay, the next point, a formation of a government of national unity. Okay, the next point, a comprehensive revision of the electoral code, ensuring that upcoming municipal and parliamentary elections are conducted under the revised code. Very important. Because when you look at the landscape in Cameroon, especially when it comes to election, you're going to realize one pattern. The regime is in total control of this institution. It is not an independent institution. No one should deceive you. So if you pay attention, everything is going to favor Paul Biya. If you take a look at a lot of the municipalities in Cameroon, how many of those municipalities are headed by mayors who are from other parties? Few. There's some few exceptions, but majority of those, municipalities are headed by a CPDM front runner or a CPDM mayor. And you go to the next step, which is parliament. Tell me how many parliamentarians are from other parties and how many parliamentarians are from the CPDM. And that's how it has been for a long time, for decades now. And nothing have changed. And every time he controls Elecam. So no one should deceive us or say something like Elecam is an independent institution. Nope, they're not. They're controlled by the CPDM party. The Senate, the same thing. So we cannot deceive ourselves. So I like this point very clearly. And he also called on Biya to convene broad consultation aimed at drafting a new constitution, arguing that without such reforms, Cameroon cannot progress. Additionally, Hiram criticized the government for failing to provide basic services, support businesses, and create employment opportunities. Yeah, this is a very, very big one because Samuel Lyodi was one of the, I think he was the youngest presidential candidate, if I'm not mistaken, after the guy who said he's going to ban alcohol, my brother Asson. But he did not go to the next stage. He pulled out before the final list was out. So I don't consider him as a candidate to that point. So the official candidate, Samuel, was the youngest candidate. And he understands what Cameroon is going through. But Mr. Samuel, what you're saying now is indirectly, telling the Cameroonian people that you think Paul Biya is the president of our country. But no, we don't think he is the president of our country. So the first thing should be him stepping down. But if he were to do all these things, it's going to be a great thing. But we want the truth to prevail. What happened on election day should come to pass. The people voted Issa Tchiroma Bakary, and that's what the people are demanding. And then after, it is not Paul Biya's, it's not Paul Biya's turn to do all these reforms because we gave him the opportunity for 43 years and he misused the opportunity. And he thinks that, whatever he does, we're just going to take it. But we said, no, Mr. Paul, we are not going to take it no more. And that is it. So I appreciate you, Mr. Samuel Lyodi, for bringing that or pointing that out. But you and I know that the people voted for Issa Tchiroma Bakary and Paul Biya is not our president. So we're going to go to the next update, which is quite concerning. It's a concerning update. I'm going to put it on my screen right now. So concern in the north. They say Haranga Solomon reportedly abducted on National Road number 1. Serious concern have emerged after the reported abduction of Mr. Haranga Solomon, a physical education teacher and known supporter of Issa Tchiroma, along National Road 1. Witness state that Mr. Solomon was intercepted and taken away by men in uniform, leaving the scene abruptly and without explanation. Since the incident, his family and colleagues have had no news of his whereabouts, deepening fears for his safety. The troubling development unfolds at a moment of heightened political tension, raising additional questions about the circumstances surrounding his disappearance. Investigation and reactions continue to build as the situation evolves. This is crazy. When you look at Cameroon, they're using the military to conduct, political chaos. Because if you see what is happening, how would this make the people peaceful? How would this bring peace to the people? You're targeting a certain group. You're targeting a certain political group because you feel like they support Issa Tchiroma Bakary. So you're claiming that the country is a democratic country, but at the same time, anybody who dares to oppose the regime He's been taken into custody by the regime. So what are we trying to say? We're saying that Cameroon is not a democratic country. It's led by a dictator. And there are also some reports coming out that they're trying to change the whole thing to a one-party system, like Amadou Ahidjo did back in the day. We will not accept it. Paul Biya must go. That's the motto. We did not vote for Paul Biya. So it's not time for him to come and begin to, suppress and oppress the people. For what? What is going on? This has to stop. And the thing is, with all this going on, he doesn't even learn any lesson to understand that, these people actually want change and they're ready for it and they're going to go the extra mile to achieve that change. They're not taking us seriously. And that is a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Because change is going to happen in Cameroon, whether Paul Biya likes it or not. He might think he has everything under control. Even with his tweet or his Facebook post, you can clearly see that they're panicking right now. They're panicking. How they're going to kill all of us? Do they want to kill all of us? I don't know. But it's high time that we as Cameroonians, stand for what is right. And Mr. Haranga and everybody arrested during the post-election drama be released. And everybody arrested during and after, during the Anglophone crisis, should be released unconditionally. That is what needs to happen. Because if we were claiming that we want to get to a better country, all those things should not even be something that we're even talking about again. It should be something that the Paul Biya and his regime just wake up tomorrow and they release everybody. And releasing everybody does not guarantee or does not mean that, the people's choice will not be respected. That is just one aspect. So after that, then the people want to see their president, which is Issa Tchiroma Bakary, sworn in, and Paul Biya step down. If he doesn't want any chaos in the country, like he said, consequences about what have been happening in other places, then he should step down. There was another news came out. I'm going to put it up on my screen. Okay. So these reports we're getting right now. 2025 presidential election. Issa Tchiroma Bakary to address the nation in the coming hours. Political tension is building rapidly. According to sources close to his team, Issa Tchiroma Bakary presented by his supporters as the elected president is preparing to address the nation in a few hours to announce key directive concerning the national resistance plan. Reports indicate that Issa Tchiroma Bakary is currently reviewing several strategic options that on his table, aimed at organizing the national response to the ongoing electoral crisis. His upcoming address is highly anticipated and could mark a major turning point in the country's political landscape. Citizens across Cameroon are watching closely as observers expect a firm, decisive message that may shape the next steps in this unfolding situation. Stay connected. His speech could redefine the course of events. So basically what this report is saying here is that Issa Tchiroma Bakary, the people's choice, our president-elect, will be giving out a strong message in the coming hours. So we have to wait and see what he will say, the tone and everything. We got to pay attention. What's the next plan for Cameroon? Because everyone is watching and anticipating what the country will look like. We all want change. We don't know how we're going to get there. We have a leader which we have to stand behind, and we stand firm and believe that he has everything that it takes to get us to the future that we all desire. deserve, because we as Cameroonians would deserve a better future. We have been suffering for too long. It's not easy to have one person, suppress and oppress you for 43 years. You build strength. So we're very strong and we deserve to be respected. We deserve a better Cameroon. We deserve a better life. We deserve a better standard of living. It's very, very important. The Cameroonian people are not asking for much. They want a right framework so they can build the country and make the country become the best possible ever seen in the world. And we can do that. And the first strategy is making sure the people's voices are respected. Paul Biya was not voted by the people. So if he holds anything dear in Cameroon, he have to step down. And the next report is about the military reshuffle. So there's a military reshuffle in Yaoundé. Today, Paul Biya reshuffled the military. So this is the sixth time this year that Paul Biya have done a military reshuffle, changing the key military personnel and putting new personnel in those positions. Why? He's scared. But right? Even the military guys, do you trust Paul Biya? That's the question you should ask yourself. Do they trust Paul Biya? I don't think so. Because anyone who trusts Paul Biya, man, it's either that person is, trying to run away from reality or understand what the people are going through. Because the guy who says, I believe in Paul Biya, is actually suffering too. They're suffering. We all are suffering as Cameroonians. Even me, I'm here, I'm suffering. Just thinking about what people are going through back home. It makes me sick. It makes me, want change. That's why I come every day here trying to give you guys updates on what is going on there so that we can create awareness and let everybody know and see how we can, in one way or the other, help the people back home. Mount pressure on the regime to do what is right, because the consequences is going to be before them. So they should know what is happening and they should know what is to come, because everything you do have consequences in life. There's nothing that you're going to do and you think there's no consequences. Any decision you take, there's a consequence to that decision. So before you make any decision, don't think about the decision itself only. Think about the consequences first. And if you can handle the consequences, then making that decision is easy. So that's the thing Paul Biya got to be thinking right now. So if he's able to handle the consequences, if the decision is yours to make, nobody's going to make the decision. I'm not going to make it for you. So you have the floor to make that decision. And another thing is another report that I'm going to put on my screen right now is about Francis Ngannou, because I've been waiting to hear Francis talk and I've been wanting to hear him, shed light to what is going on in Cameroon. People want to hear him talk. Have a stand, choose where he stands. Does he stand with the people or stand with the regime? We have been waiting for that. I even said on one of my videos, I'm like, Francis, Ngannou, the picture you posted was a Cameroon flag and you did not write no caption, nothing there. The Cameroon flag does not mean anything. Anybody can just post a Cameroon flag. You're not saying anything. So apparently, I'm going to read the report I see right here from Mimi Mefo News or Mimi Mefo Info News. Shout out to Mimi Mefo, by the way. She's outstanding, doing a great job covering every single thing that is happening in Cameroon. If you don't know who Mimi Mefo is, please go check her out. You just see that, type it on Facebook or even YouTube, you're going to see she gives amazing updates. So Francis Ngannou turns his back on Paul Biya. The PFL MMA world champion stated in an interview that he would not have voted for Paul Biya if he had the opportunity to participate in the election. According to the boxer, after 43 years in power, the president declared elected by the Constitutional Council has given all he could give. I think that today, after the 43 years, he has given what he could. The main reason is if he had been my father or grandfather, I would have advised him myself, he told Jean Bruno Taine. So what do I make of this statement by Francis Ngannou? He's acknowledging that if Paul Biya was his father, he would have advised him not to run for the presidential election. And he also clearly stated that if he was in Cameroon to participate in the presidential election, he would have voted for someone else, not Paul Biya. I mean, it's a great thing. It shows that, he's down with the people. Even with this, I'm not really satisfied, honestly, because I expected more from Francis Ngannou. Saying this is so diplomatic. And, he's really weighing the waters. I do understand, especially when you have that kind of stardom and you have influence in Cameroon. You don't want to say anything that's going to rub the other guys on the other side, plain and square. And you start worrying about your safety in the country. So I understand the complexities around that, but bro, this is a time where the people have had it. The people have been suffering. People are suffering right now. They're going to go the extra mile, to survive, because the country is not getting better. Every single day, things get worse. So people expected you to say, yeah, according to the information that you have been seeing from the people are clearly stating that they did not vote for Paul Biya. They voted for Issa Tchiroma Bakary as their president. But I do understand that Francis Ngannou want to go the diplomatic way, which is fine, but I'm just saying I wanted more. But that's his ball, to play. It's not mine. But I appreciate you, Mr. Francis, for at least even saying something. The people understand now that at least you're not on the other side. You're with us. Even though we wanted more from you, but we respect your approach and the way you handle it. That's fine. We're not going to be the way we want you to be, but just do you. But remember, it's all about the love for the nation. And sometimes share light on what is happening in the country. You have the stardom. Create awareness. Let people know what is happening in Cameroon. It's very important, especially this moment in our history. It's a make or break moment. It's not something to joke about. You know it. I know it. People have gone to war. In fact, people are dying. And at the same time, you're going to say something, they're going to come arrest you because they say you support Issa Tchiroma Bakary. That's not how a country should operate. So I expect Francis Ngannou, to shed light to some of these things. We don't have that stardom that you have at the moment. We were going to get there. But at the same time, you should shed light so people see what is happening in Cameroon and show solidarity. Who knows? Maybe you might be someone by the U.S. House of Representatives or the Senate, and then you have a good plan and see how we can get a hearing and Issa Tchiroma becomes the president of Cameroon, because Paul Biya is not the legitimate president of Cameroon. So we have to, create awareness so everybody can see what is happening in our beloved country. Because if we don't do it, who is going to do it? That's why you see Paul Biya was able to continue with the manipulation and fraud. Why? Because we didn't have medias or means of, shedding light on what is going on in our country. So every single time he oppressed and suppressed people, he knew that nothing's going to happen. But the local news in the country, he suppressed them and warned them, threatened their licenses. So if you say something, they suspend your license. So most of the local news channels started, being biased. Even though now when you see this post-election situation, you're going to realize that even some of them are not scared no more. They're talking out, they're speaking out to the Cameroonian people. Except for someone like Ernest Obama. Let me look for Ernest Obama. Ernest Obama. I want to put his picture right here so you guys can see. Ernest Obama. Where are you at? Ernest Ernest Obama. Yep, here he is. Mr. Ernest Obama. This is picture. You see the guy? This guy is Paul Biya accomplice 101. He goes to every media channel in Cameroon, every news channel in Cameroon, and try to condemn anything that has to do with Issa Tchiroma, the people's choice, and praise the head of state and threaten and talk to other journalists with no respect, thinking that, oh, he has the ultimate power to talk to people like that because he supports the regime. This is how arrogant this regime is. To make a journalist, talk to people with no respect because he's going to go to private meetings, private rooms, and they're going to give him something. Now, Mr. Ernest Obama, you have to change. I've been watching some of your interviews. I've been watching some of the debates on Canal 2. Man, you are terrible. You are terrible. You've sold your soul. You've sold your soul. And that is nothing good. The people needs everybody to stand behind them. But you decided that, no, you're going to be on the other side. That's your choice. That's your choice at the end of the day. But what a shame. What a shame. What a shame. It's so sad, man. It's so sad. All this thing happening in our country, and some people don't even think about how they can, help to calm down the nerves of the people, to preach change, and make sure that Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakary, our president-elect, is sworn in, because that's going to happen in no distant future. It will happen. The regime don't know what is about to happen. They just, yeah. It's Atangaji Paul is going to go over there and say this, that, blah, blah, blah. The Minister of Communication is going to come up, blah, blah, blah. Man, we don't want to hear all that. We just want to hear, Paul Biya steps down today. Issa Tchiroma Bakary has been sworn in as the president of Cameroon. The people's choice is here to stay. And he will, start his mandate to bring the best out of every single Cameroonian, home and abroad, and create a framework where every Cameroonian will be proud to be a Cameroonian, proud to call themselves Cameroonian, and they know that the nation is moving forward towards the right direction. And he will not be there forever. Because because you see, Issa Tchiroma said a lot of things that we paid attention very, very closely. He said he is a transitional leader. He's not there to stay forever. Key point, transitional leader. Okay? So, winning this election means he has 7 years. But he indicated clearly, I watched his interviews, he said he can achieve what he wants to achieve within 3 to 5 years and then steps down. If he accomplishes those things within 3 to 5 years, he's going to step down, and then they're going to conduct an election, which means within 3 to 5 years, he has to install Cameroon back to 5 years renewable ones, meaning you can be the president only for 10 years and you cannot be renewed after that. And the next thing, reforms in the electoral process, because we need major reforms in the electoral process to make sure that no one is ever going to have power over the electoral process in Cameroon anymore. That's very important. And the election results should be out the same day or the next day latest. Very, very important. And the next thing he said was about the judiciary system. It's going to reform the judiciary system, making sure that the judges are not corrupt or influenced by the president or any either legislative branch or executive branch. It's very important. So the judiciary is going to operate independently, and then the legislative is going to operate independently, executive operate independently. So that way, they have to be balanced in checks. Make sure that if the president does something that's out of line, the judiciary system checks him, the legislative checks him, to make sure that we are in a balanced system. Because right now, it's not balanced. Everything is Paul Biya. The power is centralized to one person. And that is not how it should be. That's why we have not been progressing for a long time. Everything is stagnant because they're waiting for the head of state. Head of which state? And the next thing that he made very clear was that he will go back to the federal arm of government or federalism. That's very important because federalism puts the power back to the people, which means all the governors are fired. All the governors are fired automatically. Then every state have the right to vote for their governor, the representative of the people. That way, every state will be competitive with the other state and see how they can make their state better than the other. It's healthy competition. It's very, very important, especially when you want to move the country forward. So those are some of the things he said very clearly. And all the senators too, the electoral reforms, we're going to take care of that. Make sure now that we can vote our people, and we know we are confident that those are the people we voted for, not the people that Paul Biya or the regime decided to give us. So at that point in time, we're going to have some trust in the system, because right now there is no trust in Paul Biya's regime. None. I don't have even -0. I don't. There is no -0, but even if there was a -0, I'm not going to have it for Paul Biya, because this is insane. You've treated the people with no respect, nothing. Downgrading the people. Nah, this is bad. This is really bad. But we have decided now we're not going to see that anymore. So Issa Tchiroma said he's not going to, that's what he's going to do, because if he accomplishes that, within 5 years, he's going to step down and then conduct an election in that atmosphere. But if Tchiroma stays for 7 years, no problem, and he does all that and achieve that, and he wants to run for a re-election, we are not going to vote for him. You know why? Because he clearly stated that he will not run after that. This is just one and done. So we are expecting a one and done. Because if he tries to come for the next term, then it's going to give us flashes. And we don't want to see flashes. He want flashes of Paul Biya. He worked for the regime. That flashback is going to come back. And he's not going to like what is going to come. So I believe in Tchiroma that he will respect the people and he's going to do what he promised. So we are waiting for his highly anticipated speech. Every corner of the country, every corner of the world, we in America, people in Europe, Asia, other parts of Africa are waiting to hear Mr. Issa Tchiroma Bakary tell us what the next step of our country will be like. We are waiting for the direction from our head of state, because that is how we're going to build a better Cameroon, behind the people's choice. The people's choice. Thank you very much. Merci à tout le monde. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.